Hey, thanks for joining me. Welcome to another episode of Pilates Stretch Working from Home. These are just short Pilates workouts to give you a little bit of everything when you're really short on time. So let's start. We are going to start today's class on our hands and knees in a tabletop position. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, back is as flat as you can, and then just bringing that head up so it's not dropped down. You take an inhale. Exhale, round your spine. So tuck your tailbone under, let your ribs lift to the sky, drop your head so you're looking at your thighs. And then when you inhale, I want you to reverse it and actually go into a little bit of extension. So lift the tailbone up, press the chest forward, and just lift the head slightly. Okay, so it's exhale, round the spine. Inhale, uncurl and extend. Think of using your abdominals when you round, so that extra little bit of a tuck should give you some ab work. Last time here. We're going to go from this position into a straight back. You're going to sit towards the heels just a little bit. Take your left arm threaded underneath you and rotate towards one side. So stretch so the opposite arm can bend. And then you're going to come up and switch. So we're going through a bit of twisting movement or rotation. So the hips should stay fairly still. And you're just getting that movement through the rib cage. So it's that twist. One more on each side. Coming back to the center, bring your feet together, your knees can open as wide as you can get them, okay? And then lowering yourself towards the floor. So if you're in this position and you feel a stretch in your inner thighs and your hips, great. If you don't, come a little further down to the floor. Or bring your knees a little bit wider, and then use your hands or arms to just gently press your bum towards your heels. Just wanted to get a little bit of a hip opening, especially if you're sitting at a desk all day. And then we're going to come up from this position onto our back. And we're going to go into another spine twist movement. It's a little more intense. So arms out to your side, palms facing the floor. Legs are going to come up into a tabletop. So your knees and feet are together. And I want you on a breath in to let both legs lower towards one side. But keep your opposite shoulder down on the mat. And then exhale, roll back up. And then you would go to the other side. So inhale. And exhale. You can do this on with your feet on the ground, guys, if you need to, okay? If it's too much on the back, you are still going to get a really, really good stretch with this. So just pick whichever one feels better for you. Just remember, you want to use your abdominals. So when your legs roll back up to the ceiling, you're trying to engage your abdominals. Just trying to tighten them in a little bit. One more on the other side. And then reach your arms straight to the ceiling, palms facing in. And then open the legs up just so they're hip bone distance apart. You're in a neutral pelvis, so you've got a very small gap between your lower back and the mat. And then I want you to exhale, tilt your pelvis so you don't have a gap anymore. So your lower back is pressing into the mat. And then roll your spine up off of the mat until you're resting between the shoulder blades. Reach your arms back behind you, palms to the ceiling. And then exhale, roll down. And as you start to roll down, circle the arms out to the side towards your hips. And then back to the ceiling to start again. So exhale, peel the spine one vertebrae at a time, all the way back up off the mat. The arms are going to come behind. Start to roll down. Once you get to about when you're going to start your lower back, I want you to circle the arms around. Just think each vertebrae, your low back comes off, then your mid back, then your upper back until you're resting between the shoulder blades, and then you're reversing it. So you're trying to sink the spine one vertebrae at a time, all the way back down. Last time here. And then take your fingertips on your thighs. Okay. Now if this gets into your neck, put your hands behind your head. You're going to keep your pelvis neutral, so do not let your lower back press into the mat, and curl your head and shoulders up, reaching your fingertips towards your tops of your knees, and then release. And everyone's obviously got different lengths of arms and legs, but you get the general idea. Just exhaling, stretching and reaching up. If it gets into the neck, like I said, just put one or both hands behind your head. So when you're doing this type of ab work, your neck is going to work. So try to think of looking kind of between your thighs as opposed to the ceiling, okay? That's never a good idea. Hold the next one up and then do 8 little pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up, and if you don't already have your hands behind your head, bring them behind your head, and then rotate to one side. Come back to the middle, and then the other side. So you're almost pressing into your one shoulder blade as you're twisting. Legs are still, hips are still. Okay? Every time you come to the middle, think curl up a little higher. So curl it up. Curl it up. Should feel your abs working. One more on the other side. And you're going to release it all the way down. Arms at your side again, palms facing the floor. So knees are bent in, hip width apart, and you're going to lift into a shoulder bridge. Okay, so in the shoulder bridge, think of your rib cage kind of heavy. It's kind of sunk down a little bit, and the abdominal muscles are tightened in. And we're going to keep your hips lifted the same height, and you're going to exhale, just lift one knee over your hip, and then bring it down. And then you do the other side. So if you think of peeling your foot off, so your heel comes off, the ball of your foot comes off, then your knee bends over your hip, then your ball of your foot comes down first, then your heel. So it's a nice, it makes a little bit smoother transition. Watching the tension in the shoulders. It's almost like marching in place, but the hips are staying stable and level. Your back and abdominals are working to keep you from twisting, right? Side to side. This is a great exercise. One more on the other side. And then I want you to come down by rolling the spine one vertebrae at a time. Hugging both knees into your chest. Roll yourself all the way back up. Legs are going to go out in front of you, sitting up right on top of your butt bone. So if you need to bend the knees, you can. Arms are out in front. You're going to exhale. Tuck the tailbone under, roll about halfway back, and then inhale, reach forward, but keep your arms lifted. Exhale, roll. Inhale, reach. If you press through your heels as you roll back, you'll get a nice length through the back of your legs. Then we're going to add our spine twist. So you're going to reach forward, then you're going to restack your spine up. Arms are going to reach, and you're going to rotate 1 and 2. Arms are going to stay reaching, and you're going to tuck and roll back, lowering the arms. So flex forward. Restack up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Almost there. Last time. Inhale, exhale. Roll it back. Halfway, hold it, bring your legs together. Now point your feet and flex forward, reaching towards your feet and holding yourself and gently pulling yourself forward. And then restack up, sitting in the middle again of the mat. Knees are bent. We're going to do one more abdominal exercise here. You're going to start, actually, yeah, keep the legs bent, sorry. Arms in front, roll yourself all the way back. I changed my train of thought here. Legs are lifted in a tabletop. Hands come behind your head. And I want you to curl your head and shoulders up. Okay, so ideally, if you can get your knees bent 90 degrees, you have to usually take a look at them. And your lower back is pressing into the mat. Now, keep yourself curled up. Tap one foot to the floor. Switch. So your hips are staying still. If this is too much on the neck, still with the hands behind your head, put your head down. If it's too much on your back, put one foot down. And do one at a time, just doing a couple on each side. And then switching. Curling it up, up. Every time you tap, imagine you're curling up higher. If you're not shaking, you probably need to curl up a little bit higher. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring it down, hug the knees in, rolling yourself back up. Perfect. Onto your stomach. So we're going to do a little bit of upper back extension to finish off. So you'd be lying on your back with your legs hip width apart, hands beside your head, elbows are down. Your head should be slightly lifted. Now in this position, gently press your pubic bone into the floor, and then think of taking your shoulder blades and sliding them down and together, almost towards your bum. And then inhale, let your head and chest float up. So you're almost looking kind of 45-degree angle forward, and then you release down. So you're inhaling to float up, exhaling to come down. It's not a lower back extension, so you don't need to press up. You're trying to actually almost press your chest forward. Okay? You're trying to almost do a mini back bend in your mid-back. Trying to get a little bit of work in your thoracic spine. And again, your hands are helping a little bit, but think of your back muscles lifting and pressing that chest forward. 2 more. Reaching both arms to your side now, palms facing the ceiling. You're going to lift your head and chest up and your arms. Turn your palms towards your thighs. So you're almost like you are actually touching your thighs. And then release it down. So inhale, lift, and down. Same idea. You're trying to lift through that mid-back. And the chest almost feels like it's lifting and then pressing forward. 3 more. From this position, bring yourself back up onto the hands and knees, rounding the spine into a cat stretch, and then maintaining that roundness in your back as you sit to your heels. So you're keeping your pelvis tucked under to get that stretch. And then when you release up, we're going to end the class with a little bit of a mermaid or a side bend stretch. So you can sit cross-legged. If it's not comfortable at all, just grab a chair and sit on the chair. If you can, swing your left leg behind. Okay, that's the ideal, but if you can't, that's not a big deal. Just do it cross-legged. Sit up really straight. You inhale to lift your left arm up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, restack your spine up straight. The other arm comes up, and then you bend. So you're bending through the waist. Think of lifting up and out. Especially on this side, when you're coming towards your bent leg or your left leg, think up and out. So you should feel that stretch along the side of the waist. Last one on this side. And if you've got your left leg behind, swing the right leg behind and continue. If you're on a chair or your legs are crossed normal, just continue on. And again, just focus on that one side of your waist shortens and the other side lengthens as you bend. And it's that stretch or reach out through the arms. So you're stretching out. And if one side feels a lot more difficult than the other, usually it just means one of your hips are tight or your pelvis is off alignment or all kinds of things it could be. But it's always interesting to do these kind of exercises because you can feel often one side's a bit more unbalanced than the other. Last one here. And then I'm actually going to add one last one before we finish. You're just going to sit with the legs together, just like we started, knees together, sitting up nice and tall, using your hands to hold you here. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, let your chin sink to your chest, flexing forward. Reach your hands to the feet and just kind of curl yourself into a little bit of a ball. Take a deep breath or a couple deep breaths here. Just watch you haven't dropped your head completely down. You don't want too much tension in the back of the neck. And just carrying that breath nice and deep down into the lungs. So right to the back bottom part of your rib cage. You should feel the rib cage expanding as you inhale and collapsing down as you exhale. And when you're ready, bringing your hands behind your legs again, and then use them to help you restack that spine up one vertebrae at a time. Roll out the shoulders, and you're finished. Thanks for joining me. That was 15 minutes, 16 minutes, 15 minutes. Good stuff. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.